You've become their worst nightmare. At the same time, though, you've become their greatest, their biggest obsession. Their worst nightmare is the one that figured out that there's something deeper. There's something bigger than what human eyes can see. Their worst nightmare discovered the spiritual aspect of what was happening. You saw the wicked soul. If you dealt with a narcissist, if you've lived with narcissists, if you were born into a narcissistic family, you may have been given the gift of spiritual insight. This is the reason why you have become their worst nightmare. Eventually, the attempt to break, destroy, ruin, and maybe even kill you, completely annihilate you from the earth, it made sense. It made sense because behind that mask they're wearing is a devilish soul. One that thrives in deception. Everything is about deception. Everything is about lying, deceiving, manipulating. And it's deeper than just lying, deceiving, and manipulating. The cruelty of a narcissist is the enjoyment of seeing people in pain, seeing someone who loves them, someone who cares and dedicates their time to them, seeing them in pain, seeing you fall apart. You were never supposed to figure out that you weren't the problem. You were never supposed to see that they have more than a problem. They have demons. They're demonic. They're spiritually lost. They're spiritually bound. They worship things you didn't even understand. People say the devil don't exist. Okay. Those people are either narcissists themselves or they haven't dealt with a real narcissist. Don't fall for the facade society is telling you this has nothing to do with evil. It has everything to do with evil. If you know, you know. Share your comment below because you went through a real wicked experience with a true narcissist. They twisted your love into a weapon. They broke your spirit. They exploited the good inside of you. They did everything in their power to make you feel low. They worked hard to erase your confidence. They work hard to make you believe that you're unworthy, that you're not capable, that you're not deserving, that you hold no value. They take, and take until you break or you awake. Their worst nightmare woke up, awakened to the darkness. Once you awaken, once you see it for what it is, once you figure out that behind the mask is a wicked soul, you stop loving, you stop giving, you maybe even stop caring. You finally take what's left of your life and you run. Their worst nightmare is the one that not only runs, but never turns back, never looks back, never shows any interest, never give any access. Allow them to starve demonically. Hoover attempts go nowhere. Year after year, month after month, they're going to continue to find ways to reach you, to reach out. But their worst nightmare doesn't budge. Once you saw what you saw, you couldn't unsee it. And you're going to hold them accountable to their wickedness. You know what you know. You know what others don't know. You know what others can't see. And it caused them a great defeat. Beat them at their own game. Their worst nightmares, the one who they used, abused, they chewed, they spit out, wash, rinse, repeat with it until they couldn't do it no more. They did everything they could to teach you that love was a trap. The things narcissists do to you is beyond betrayal and cruelty. It's complete blasphemy against trust. Trust is a gift. To see someone let their guard down, let you in, marry you, consider your family, consider your flaws, work with you, try to work through things with you. That's a gift. But they laughed at it. They took your trust and they stepped all over it. They spit on it. They laughed at it. They insulted you for trusting. They made you feel stupid and crazy for trusting until you stopped trusting. When you didn't trust anymore, they didn't have any more power. When you didn't trust anymore, they lost control. That's why you see the panicking. You see the smearing of your name, assassinating of your character, because they're panicking. They knew what they were doing. It was so strategic, it was calculated, it was cute, it was fun to watch you go without, to watch you lose, to watch you dry up your finances to keep saving them, to watch you parent children that weren't even yours, to watch you give up your time the way that you did. It was satisfying to their demonic souls. Until you stopped and there was nothing to watch. There was no supply to pull from because you disconnected that cord. You detached and you made it permanent. What you didn't know when you were giving it up, doing so much, doing it all, was that you were enslaved to them. Until you knew that. And you stopped that. And now they're furious and raging. They're deteriorating. They're aging poorly, disgustingly. They're making sick decisions, trying to keep some kind of a game going, trying to keep some kind of an image for others. Because they're pissed that they lost a punching bag. They're confused because they can't bully you anymore. They love bullying a good person like you. They enjoyed bullying someone with your heart, a heart of gold. That's why you've become their worst nightmare. You didn't just pack your things. You took your heart. You took your soul. You took your spirit with you. The very thing they abused happens to be something they actually needed. They need healing. But you can't save them. And at some point, I'm sure they made you think that you could help. But you can't. When you figure that out, you become their worst nightmare. They can't deceive you anymore. They can't hide behind charm anymore just to control you. They've been defeated. They're not used to that. They're used to everybody hanging on, crawling back, begging, pleading. You're not doing that. You didn't just go no contact. You went zero access. You didn't just deny them physically. You've denied them spiritually. They're the ones stuck in a game where they think they can play hide and go seek and pop out whenever their spirit leads them, whenever their demon spirit leads them. But their worst nightmare, those games end when you saw what you saw. No more. It's over. It's done. And they can't handle that. That's not the result that they were promised. That's not the result that they were hoping for. They were deceived to believing that they had you permanently. Bent over and twisted up like a pretzel permanently. Your cutoff has been so brutal, they're still in disbelief. They're still planning ways to reach out, contact you, be seen, be heard, get your attention. They would love a conversation with you right now. But the fact that they're not getting it, they won't get it, they'll never get it, that's their reminder that you've become their worst nightmare. They had you as a victim. And now their nightmare is seeing you as a victor. They're obsessing over you. You've discovered a new strength. You got your confidence back. Your self-esteem is climbing. They're obsessing over you because they like strong people. They like beautiful people. To gain the satisfaction of watching you lose it all again is what the obsession is all about. If they can just get access and do it to you all over again at a higher level, they will feel so good. They will feel so at peace in their demonic soul. But you're their worst nightmare, and that's never going to happen. They're going to drive themselves narcissistically crazy, thinking that you will ever be targeted, that you will ever come back to that. They'll die in misery, knowing that you defeated them. You saw their smile, you heard their words, you were pulled by their charisma, and you trusted them. Only to find out one day, to wake up and see the truth, that it was all a mask. They hid behind vulnerability. They hid behind intelligence. But inside there was nothing there, just a dead soul, a wicked soul, a heartless being. Just here to steal, kill, and destroy you. The moment you accepted this truth, you've never been the same. The old you died instantly, and you became their worst nightmare. They tried to damage you. They tried to teach you that loyalty was one-sided. They taught you that you can't trust. They taught you that love isn't real. When you become their worst nightmare, you become the one who unlearns that. Accept the truth. Understand that you were deceived. Understand that you were handled by someone who did not handle you with care. They had no love to give. They wanted to destroy everything sacred about you. What a narcissist does is spiritually vandalize you, rob you of truth, divine truth, rob you of your faith and your beliefs. They wear so many masks, with all of them are intended to play a different role of deception, to fully get to a point where they can control you, change your whole perception on reality. They know when they're breaking you. They know when they're breaking your spirit. That's why they never apologize. An apology never comes. They want to sit back and watch the wound get deeper, not taking accountability, not genuinely apologizing when they're dead wrong. It cuts deeper than a knife. And it's deliberate. They sit back and laugh. They sit back and laugh at your pain. That's why their worst nightmare destroys them. Because you don't need an apology. You know they're just a sorry being. They tried to break your faith. They deliberately broke your trust. Your trust is a spiritual foundation. That's why when their worst nightmare gets away, the one who gets away, karma is activated. They will spend forever spinning in narcissistic circles, more lost than before, seeking something that only God can give. And at this point, due to the extent of the wickedness, God wants no part of that. God rejects them too at some point. God sent you, gave them another chance, and they rejected God. They slapped God in the face. They spit on his name. So now, there's nothing left but to be stuck in their own cycle of sickness and wickedness, a life and a future full of wicked outcomes, evil results, reaping what they sow. Don't fall for the facade. Don't fall for the image. Don't be deceived. If you know, you know. Share your thoughts below, drop a comment. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Check out the description section. You'll see the link to sign up for my recovery masterclass. Take your power back. In the description box, you'll also find links on how to reach me, find me on other platforms, and check out MamiSoTrue merchandise. Until next time, beautiful people, keep thriving.